I just want to say, if you have something to say to somebody in love, like in from a good place, from if you have something on your heart to say to somebody, say it and don't hesitate to say it, because you have your love has the capability of releasing things in other people, right? It has the ability to it's truly powerful. It has the ability to transform. So if you really have something from the depth of your soul, don't be stuck in fear. Just say it. For example, I received a text this morning, and it was just something that I needed to hear, and I didn't know that I needed to hear it, but it definitely released something in me, right? And and I was just overwhelmed, but it was a great reminder that, like, we're all powerful, right? Something so small. It was just a small gesture, right? And I reflected on it and I thought back for years. And I was like, wow, I don't think I've heard those words from that person and in all these years. And it just like, there was a release in me. It was something that I needed to hear. It was something that I didn't know that I needed to hear. Something that was healing to me. Just a simple gesture of love, right? So when you have something on your heart, don't be bound by fear. If you think you're being overly emotional or too mushy or too whatever, you're not. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's pure. If it's coming from your heart, it's pure, it's love. And I'm not talking about, like, if things that are not coming from the heart, things that are coming from the ego, but like, when, like, even if it's small, even if it's like a compliment to somebody or it's something small, if just say it, and don't think about how that person is going to receive it. Just give it to give it, because trust, the good feeling is in the giving, right? And rejection is fine, because rejection you can get over, you can learn from. There's always benefits in rejection, but regret, there's no way you can turn back time. Like, you can always do the things that you want to do, but say you wanted to say something to a particular person and you never said it, and and it was just a series of events that happened that led you to not being able to say that thing to that person. Like, you don't want to regret like that. You might as well just say what you have, especially if it's coming from the heart, because it's true and it's pure, So just risk it, risk embarrassment, risk being overly whatever. I am an overly emotional person, like, especially if I'm sending love or giving love to somebody. It definitely comes off very strong. But every time I do it, or I never hesitate, because if it's love and it's true and it's coming from a real place. So even if it's for a stranger and I see something that I like, or I see a character trait that I like, I don't know, whatever it is, I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna risk, like, the person rejecting me, or saying something that's gonna embarrass me, because shit, I felt good doing it. You know what I'm saying? I felt good doing it, and and it might, whatever. Every time you give out energy, it has a consequence, right? It has a reaction. It's like a boomerang, right? You give out, you give back. So everything we do has a consequence, and sometimes we're not in control of some of the consequences of our actions, like people's reaction, right? You say things to people and we're not in control of how they're going to react, yet that's still a consequence to that action, right? But if it's coming from a real place and it's coming from a genuine place, you can reject the embarrassment, or you can reject rejection because you know that you came from a real place. You came from a good place. So yeah, the situation might not have turned out like you wanted, but it's still like, you're not at fault. You didn't hurt anybody, And you might be hurt for a little bit, or you might be hurt for a lot of bit, but it's like your hands are clean because you know where you were coming from. Good. God knows where you was coming from, and whatever you've given out, that love that you've given out, even though that the immediate consequence might not have been what you expected, the love that you gave out is going to come back to you. So you keep giving out love, you keep giving out good energy, you keep giving out positive vibes, eventually it's going to come back to you. You know what I'm saying? And it might not come how you want it, when you want it, but divine timing is always at play in your life, and it's always better than you imagined. So if you flow with that, and if you trust that, and you allow the good to come to you, right? You're open to the good to come to you, it will come. And you just keep giving out good, and you keep receiving good, you know? And that's how that works. That's how that works. Everything is not going to be good, and that's a given. But know that you being generous, you coming from a place of love, is never taken for granted. It's never in vain. Your good works are never in vain. So be love, be pure, be true, you know?